It Ends is an indie horror psychological thriller about a bunch of high school friends on a road trip that never ends. I heard about it through the network of online movie reviewers here on TikTok and YouTube. Many of the cinephiles I follow and trust were raving about it, but unfortunately, there was no way to watch it. Until now. Hey, I'm Mike. I studied film, I work in TV. And if you love movies as much as I do, hit that subscribe button and get notified when new content's posted. It Ends follows four friends on a road trip heading home from college. Somehow, they navigate onto a road that they're unable to turn off of. Just dense forest on either side. When they stop, a horde of zombie-like people descend on their car, which keeps them moving for hundreds and then thousands of miles of just straight, rural, tree-lined road. Time seems to stand still. The car never runs out of gas. They never have to eat or, just a constant state of driving. It's a movie about stamina and drive, but it's also a movie about hopelessness. This simple premise for a movie ended up delivering a very complex statement, in my mind anyway, about kids graduated from college into an unknown future. Specifically, a generation of kids graduating post-pandemic, not knowing what the economy or the job market would have in store for them. I graduated college in 1995, pre-pandemic. Hell, it was pre-9/11. It was a really optimistic time, and the movies of that time reflected that optimism. Kids today are facing a much more uncertain future, and people like me are having a harder time telling the next generation that everything's going to be okay. The rules have been rewritten, the job market, healthcare, everything they were promised is not the same. And we're starting to see that in the movies they're producing. Just monotony, the same thing, day in and day out. Get up, go to work, come home, rinse, repeat. I'm going to talk about some light spoilers here, but it shouldn't ruin the film for you. It Ends dives into the psyche of the characters as they process their situation. At first, they're having the time of their lives in the car with their best friends on a road trip. I mean, what's better than that? But by the end, they all become disillusioned and leave the group to find their own way, separate and alone. Kind of like life. You're having the time of your life with your best friends, then you graduate, and one by one, they get married or buy a house, move across the country, or get comfortable in a job that they hate, and everyone loses that spark that we all once had. It Ends as an important film, not just for the Gen Alphas who are inheriting a shit show of an economy, but for the Gen Xers like myself who are beginning to look at life in the rearview mirror. See what I did there? Rearview mirror? Get it? It Ends is the first feature from writer-director Alex Ulam. Ulam attended Florida State University and was asked to bug test their new virtual production LED stage. I was genuinely surprised to find out that most of It Ends was shot on the LED stage at FSU, utilizing a technique much like how The Mandalorian is shot. I went into that process more in another video, so I don't have to go into it here, but the fact that students have access to such high-end production equipment will revolutionize the industry, and I'm here for it. Ulam said the hardest part of the production was cutting the Jeep that the characters drive into pieces to get it into the stage, which only had a traditional-sized door. All the scenes that are inside the car, and much of this film is in the car, take place on that stage. I watched the entirety of It Ends, and I have to say, it fooled me. I figured they just found a deserted road and shot the film in a traditional way. Wouldn't have been that hard, just old school side-of-the-road production. But no, not Gen Alpha. Everything's tech for Gen Alpha. I don't want to sound like a Luddite here. If it wasn't for tech, I probably wouldn't have been able to see It Ends in the first place. It Ends premiered at the South by Southwest Film Festival in 2025 and immediately caught the attention of the internet film critic community, specifically film critic Kit Laser. Kit's post went viral to the point that when the social media movie site Letterboxd decided to begin a video rental service, they selected It Ends as one of the first films they would offer up. For those that aren't familiar, Letterboxd is a social media site where you can log and review films that you watch. Additionally, you can research films, see what your friends have written about them, and add films to a watch list. And then Letterboxd will tell you which streaming service you can watch it on. It's a pretty neat site. Enter Letterboxd Video Store. Letterboxd just unveiled a streaming platform that they say will feature hard-to-find films or films that don't have distribution deals. I have to assume they'll use their platform to determine which movies are highly rated and aren't available anywhere to screen. You might be asking yourself, do we need another streaming platform? I would say yes. A streaming platform that focuses on highly rated independent films without distribution deals? That's a hell yes. Maybe this is exactly what we need with the networks consolidating, studios merging, and all the big filmmakers regurgitating sequels of existing IP. I would say yes, maybe we need an outlet for independent films to find their audience. The only downside for the time being is the price. I paid $19.99 to see It Ends, which is a little more than what I would have spent to see it in a theater. I'm not justifying the high cost of going to the theater, that's another video. I'm just making a comparison. The monthly subscription to access the entirety of the other streamers' catalogs is less than that. But if the money goes back to independent filmmakers, I think I'm okay with it. Anyway, I personally thought It Ends was worth the $20, and I'm happy to get a streaming service dedicated to independent film. If you're interested, I'm Scalarius on Letterboxd, just as I am here. Pop over and follow me there. As always, I'd love to read your thoughts in the comments below. Film is about community. I'm Mike, and I love movies.